All right, what's going on, y'all? So I am out here working on the Chevelle. I'm working on the fitment of the gas tank. So I just thought that I would kind of attack that first, just to kind of make sure everything fits okay. What do I have to do? What do I have to do to modify everything and all that, and then just kind of just go from there. So I'm gonna flip this camera around so you guys can kind of see where it's placed at right now and what it's looking like and what I'm gonna have to do to modify and make this thing fit. So hold on real quick. All right, y'all, so what you're looking at right now is just kind of like a test fit of how it's fitting up in there. So this tank, I think, is about 3/4 of an inch wider than the normal tank as far as width from side to side goes, but depth, it's actually a lot wider. And so if I can find a picture of it online, there's somebody that has these stacked on top of each other. So this particular tank from a B-body, from a 94 to 96 Caprice, Roadmaster, Impala, they have this style tank stacked on a 71 Chevelle tank, and you can see the thickness as far as difference goes. So it will hang a little bit lower, so you will have to keep that in mind, and it is a little bit wider, and so it is hitting a little bit of the frame, and I'll show you guys where. You do have to cut that a little bit, and it's actually not much. You can cut as much as you want. I'm probably gonna cut about maybe 1/4 of an inch on both sides. That way I can ensure a good amount of clearance. But as far as width goes from back to front, it actually lines up really good. And so let me just take you there real quick. So this is the passenger side. Hopefully you guys can kind of see. So right here is where it's touching. So the way the frame goes, it actually it's thin right here. Hold on, let me see, I got my light. All right, so it's thin right here, and then it kind of bows in, and that's where it's hitting on the tank, and then it kind of comes back in, and then you have clearance. So there's probably, I mean, I can stick my finger in there, so there's a fair amount of clearance in here, and then it fits barely up in there. But if you can see right here, that right there is where the strap hooks in, and so you got, it fits perfectly right there. And then if you go to the back, I don't know if y'all can see, it's hard for me to kind of look. Let's see if I can find it. If you can see, hold on, right there, that's where it hooks up and bolts in, where the strap actually anchors in and bolts in. You can see the bolt is broke. It must have been rusted on, so if they either cut it off or it just broke off, but that's where it will bolt in. So from here to the anchor point where it all straps in, it actually fits perfect. So no issues there. It's just where it's hitting the frame right here, and it's actually just like that on both sides. So you just have to cut along here, and I'll probably just follow this line and probably make it a little bit wider, and then cut along here and then have it just go straight into there. So as far as that goes, that's one modification that you'll have to do. Also, let me take you to the top of the inside the trunk real quick. All right, y'all, so with the B-body tank, the fuel pump, this whole area right here is lifted up. It's actually higher than the actual surface of the tank, and so it sits up a ways. So this here is what makes also not only the thickness of the tank, but this here is actually what also makes it sit down a little bit lower, because of the actual surface area of where the pump goes in. So what a lot of people do, or not a lot of people, because I don't know how common this swap is, but what I've seen some people do, and there's no videos on it, but I've seen a couple write-ups on it, is what people will do is actually cut this area out. So they'll make a template of this right here with a piece of cardboard right here, and then they'll put the tank up under, and they'll kind of see where these actual lines at the tank go, and they'll line it up, and it's actually somewhere in here where these two lines are. They'll put the template there, then they'll cut it out, and it actually goes up into this area as well, and then that helps the tank sit up higher under the car, and then they'll use the piece of metal that they cut out to cover the top part. Then they'll just put metal around here and just weld it in. So I personally don't want to do that, because it's not so much of me running the trunk, but I want to keep the trunk stock looking. And if I ever wanted to put stuff in there, or maybe put a speaker box or something like that, whatever in there, I don't have that in the way. Just my personal preference, and that's what I would like to do. So I don't care if the tank hangs lower. What I would probably do is get some type of spacer or something in between, maybe some foam padding of some sort or something. I'd have to figure out. That way it can kind of sit level all the way around, and I won't be like smashing the top of the fuel cylinder and all that. So I don't know, we'll see. Worst case, if I have to do that, I will. However, I won't weld it all together. What I'll probably do is have the bottom portion welded in, and then I'll leave the top portion kind of like as a flapping door, so that way I can access the pump if I ever needed to. That would be my personal preference, so that way I wouldn't have to drop the tank if I ever had to do that. But we shall see. But that's another option as well too. So but as you can see, y'all, this trunk is actually really clean. I mean, surface rust and all, but I mean, no holes in it, nothing like that. So yeah, man, it's actually fairly clean, so I'm happy about that. So anyways, that's kind of where I'm at with that. So what I'll probably do here is, I already kind of made an outline. I don't know if y'all can see it, it's probably really dark, but if you can see that line where the Sharpie is, I kind of made a little line there that I can cut out and then make it fit. So I might try to cut that out here shortly, and then get you guys a quick clip of how it sets in there after that. So alright, y'all, just a rough cut, and that's what it looks like. So I took about 1/4 of an inch or so on both sides. So this is the driver's side here, but as you can see, I can stick my finger in it now, just like I was able to on the other side. I'm not sticking my finger way up in there because there's still some jagged edges there. I had to clear this as well, so this makes the tank sit over a little bit more. This is a I think this is an inlet where you can fill it up on a Roadmaster wagon, or a Caprice wagon. So I think on the wagons they fill up from the side, and on the Impalas and the sedans and stuff they fill in from the back. So I think what they do is they just leave it, they just cap it off, and then use this this one for the sedan style. So this is what it looks like here on the driver's side. This is what it looks like on the passenger side. So as you can see, I can kind of stick my finger up in there. I'm just not going way up in there because, like I said, it's pretty jagged edges, and I don't want to do that. But plenty of clearance, actually a lot more, I think. And it's sitting back where it should. So as you can see the hooks for the straps here. And I can't go back there in the back to show you, but it's all lined up pretty good. And let me get a rear view from it, and that's about what it would sit like. It's a little bit unlevel right now, so and that's with me without cutting the floor up. So so more to come on this. We'll see how that all works, and then in my next video, hopefully everything will be cleaned up and everything, and then we'll kind of just go from there. So let me flip this camera around, y'all, so I can talk a little bit more about what I have next installed, or what I have next, at least coming up for this, as far as the tank straps and all that go. All right, y'all, that's pretty much it on the starting process of making this tank work. I'm gonna just take a little grinding stone and just smooth out all the imperfections and stuff that I cut out, and then get it lined up one more time just to make sure everything's good to go, and then I'll start the process of making the straps. So that'll be another day. I got two different options on the gas tank straps. I actually have the OG straps, well, not the OG, but the original style straps for this tank. There's a few more modifications that you have to do to kind of make those work, but I would like to have those work because they're a lot cleaner look, and they're actually for this tank, and it just looks a lot nicer. But what I'm probably gonna do to start is just make my own straps, and then just get it up there and make sure that the tank is up there and it fits and all that. And then sometime down the road, I'll probably put the other straps on and get those mounted as well. There's some welding and stuff that you have to do to make some certain brackets to make those original straps work. I just can't weld. I don't have a welder. I don't have access to that, so I gotta take it to a buddy of mine and have him do it. So anyways, there'll be more to come on that as well, but what I'll probably do is just make my own straps just from some metal strapping that you get from like Home Depot or Lowe's, and then we'll just go from there. So stay tuned for more, y'all, on this, and then we'll holler at y'all later. All right, deuces. The Chevelle build is beginning and it's going down. All right, later.